When you're trying to become successful at something, tomorrow is the biggest lie that you will tell yourself. Our brains value predictability over success. So your brain wants you to behave exactly how it is known for you to behave. Your behavior is an identity that has been shaped over all of your experiences of life, people you've come in contact with, your upbringing, your environments, the way people have told you the person that you are and that you aren't. Your identity has been shaped in that sense, where it's now become a predictable behavior for your brain. The way that you operate in life, your brain wants you to operate on this predictability behavior scale, because if it doesn't, your brain is going to flag it off as danger. The number one thing for our bodies is that our bodies are obviously in the physical. They operate in a way for us to be protected. They want to protect us from the danger and all of the bad things in life, especially if it's something that has been flagged in our system. So, fear, abandonment, judgment, rejection, those are all things that we've come in contact with in life that our body flags as danger because of the way that it's made us feel. It produces a bad emotion or a negative emotion, and our bodies naturally want to protect ourselves from having to feel that emotion again. So it operates in a way that creates these defense mechanisms, which vary between people. And these defense mechanisms actually end up becoming a part of our programming system in our predictable behavior. If you are somebody who is trying to accomplish on a goal, you want to be successful at something, you're trying to work towards something, and you often find yourself saying, I will do this tomorrow, or you plan and planners never work, writing it out never works, meditation never works. You are genuinely trying to make a change, you're trying to work towards this thing, but you can never get yourself to actually work towards it or to accomplish the smaller steps or the beginning steps that will require you to get to where you want to go. I was listening to this podcast that talked about how dopamine is actually not what we think it is. We look at dopamine as this pleasuring type of center where we eat a cookie and we feel pleasure and our dopamine spikes, or we go on our phone on social media and we get dopamine spikes and hits, which is true, but dopamine is actually our signal for knowing if something is worthy or not to move forward towards. When you get those dopamine spikes from going on your phone, typically that dopamine starts to spike before you even pick up your phone to go look at social media. You have this like urge, this worthiness, it's a signal that like, oh yeah, if I do this, if I go on my phone, if I go on social media, I will feel good. It's worth moving forward towards. That action of picking up your phone and going on social media is worth it for you to feel good. That's exactly what it looks like when you're trying to accomplish something. So, say you have a specific body that you're trying to accomplish. You have a specific body weight that you want to accomplish, and you mapped it all out. You've created a gym plan for yourself. You wrote down in your planner how many times you're going to go to the week, what you're going to eat for the week, what you need to be doing in order for you to maintain this specific body weight or body structure. And you go, okay, tomorrow is going to be the first day I go to the gym. And instead, your predictability behavior, because your brain is obviously going to value that predictability versus the success, because it doesn't know that feeling yet. It doesn't know what the success actually is. It's going to value that predictability. It's just trying to keep you safe. You are going to wake up in the morning, and going to the gym is not going to be desirable. You're going to want to just wake up and scroll on your phone until noon, and then noon's going to come around, and then eventually you're going to kick in some type of ideology that's not going to allow you to go to the gym, or excuse, I should say, which is going to be something like, oh, it's too late, or it's maybe the gym's too crowded. I don't know what I'm doing at the gym really. Like, I feel like I'll be too judged at the gym. Your body already creates these ideas or these thought processes in your brain, especially because, again, like when our body does something that's not very predictable or that we haven't done before, it's going to flag it as danger because your body doesn't know what's going to come out of the situation. And a lot of the times fear is a lot louder than you feeling safe or secure in a situation. You now have acted out of your predictable behavior of whatever your identity is, because our identity, again, is just shaped through all these environments and upbringings, experiences we've been through throughout life. Now, our identity is operated off of this okay, I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not even going to do it today. I'm just going to go tomorrow. I'm going to wake up earlier tomorrow. Then tomorrow rolls around. You have your alarm set. You end up snoozing the alarm. You end up going to sleep because you're tired. And again, your predictable behavior just kicks in. If your dopamine is low, your signal for the worthiness of moving towards whatever it is actually isn't going to be very responsive. You're going to feel like if you try to plan, if you try to create these plans for it, to go to the gym and do what you need to do, it's just going to be effortless. It doesn't have an effect on you actually being like, okay, I'm gonna go do this. So I've been trying my hardest in this current season of life to quiet my current desires of what I want to do and just what I know is not going to pour into myself for my future self, because there is a specific future and outcome that I am looking to succeed, and I want my future self to be living that specific life. So in order for me to actually accomplish that or to succeed by that, I've been trying to really focus on being intentional about where I'm currently at, the decisions I'm making, the behaviors, the actions, and everything that's going to lead me towards the specific goal. So when I'm hearing that tomorrow is the biggest lie you will ever tell yourself, it really sparked something inside of me, because I have been somebody who has been wanting to create videos or wanting to post online on social media, and there has been so many voices inside my head, my predictable behavior from my identity, that has prevented me from doing so. It was a fear of being seen, a fear of being judged, a fear of all of these different things that were not necessarily true. And even if it did happen, it wasn't going to be danger. It wasn't going to be dangerous, if I should say. It was preventing me from actually starting sooner than I would love to have. Part of it also came from this place of perfection and wanting to be in the right place, in the right time, having the right tools in order to actually work towards and succeed what I wanted to succeed, which is very crazy because even Jesus was perfect and he was still judged. Being perfect isn't even enough. You look at these celebrities and you look at people in your desired field or industry, people that you want to or look up to, and you're like, wow, they're so perfect. They're so good at this thing. When they didn't even start at the level that they're currently at, they started somewhere, but it definitely wasn't as experienced and knowledgeable as where they're currently at. So they had to kind of put themselves out there, even if they felt like they weren't ready. I've gotten past this little hump of I'm going to start tomorrow and I'm going to just do it. I'm just going to send it. I'm just going to put in my best effort and best forward into whatever I can, and whatever comes out of it comes out of it. But at least I know I'm working on it right now. I had to get to a point though, and it got to a point where it felt like, wow, this is something that I no longer want to do, or I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want these actions. I don't want this behavior. I don't want this mentality. And it took me up into that point of where I was like, I have to make a change. And eventually it like sparked something in me that made me jump up and change. And that's exactly what they talked about in the podcast. They talked about in order for you to stop saying tomorrow and for you to just do it now, you have to get to that point with where you're currently at in order for you to start working to where you need to be. Because dopamine is this signal in your brain that is telling you that this is worth working towards. So I don't know if you've ever had a moment where you get like this rush of what I like to call energy, because I do like to look at this from a very spiritual and faith-based lens. And you feel so motivated in that moment. Your dopamine is so high. You want to go pick up the pen. You want to write it down. You want to look up different mock-up versions, or you want to start designing. You have this like creative flow of energy and you're just ready to like put your all into it. But obviously energy doesn't stay still, and it also doesn't die. So it's going to continue to flow, and it's going to flow in and out of you, and you're going to have moments where you genuinely feel at a high. Your dopamine is there, you're ready to plan it and put the effort in towards it, and when you're feeling it, it's feeling good. But you're also going to have those moments of where the energy is low and you're not necessarily feeling exactly what you previously were feeling, and you're still required to put in some effort in towards that goal to continue to make it succeed. What healthy dopamine actually looks like is when you make an effort for something and it feels meaningful. So when you make the effort to do something, you make the effort to go to the gym, and then afterwards it felt meaningful, it felt amazing, that is when your dopamine hits. You aren't going to have levels of dopamine while you're planning something or while you're making an agenda for it, you're doing a vision board. These are good emotional attachments to have towards it or organization strategies. But in order for you to actually get that real dopamine hit from it, you have to find it meaningful. You have to find the effort that you did meaningful. And that means going to the gym. You see, we're waking up early and going to the gym and disrupting that predictable behavior that is going to feel uncomfortable in that moment, and it's going to be the hardest path to get by. But when you actually do it, you feel the effort that you put into it, and it feels meaningful. Even if it isn't perfect, if it's not exactly where you want it to be, it feels like something was accomplished. And when I look at this from a faith-based perspective, I think about like assignments that the Lord assigns to each of us. He gives us an assignment or he gives us an instruction. And oftentimes we have those identities that are overpowering the identity that the Lord knows us to be. The Lord has known you before your mother's womb. He knows exactly how many hairs are on your head. You are so important to him, and he is going to know the core identity and who you truly are before the world came and shaped you into the person that you now have become. The person that you know, the version of yourself that you know, is completely different from the version that the Lord knows. When he gives you an instruction or an assignment, he knows you're capable of doing it. That's why our disciplines towards it is so important. That ability to be able to disrupt our predictable behavior and disrupt the way that we currently are thinking about the situation, and just honestly like go towards it, full send it and do it and put our best effort in that we currently can right now, it is going to produce that meaningful effect, which is going to then increase those dopamine levels. The Lord often talks about how when you're not obedient, you're being disobedient. Because being obedient actually aligns you with Him. And I've talked about in previous videos that alignment is everything. Being aligned is one of the most powerful things that you can be while on your time here in this life, because it makes life flow in a way that brings peace and clarity and abundance. It is the only path that you are genuinely going to feel destined to be on, or feel like this is so purposeful and meaningful. When you're obedient to him, obviously he's giving you instruction and having you be obedient in a way that is going to lead you on that path of alignment. Everything connects in that sense. And instead of you telling yourself, oh, well, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to be obedient to this because I don't have the tools, or I don't have this, or it's not exactly how you picture it being because you have a specific identity that you're relying on or that you're perceiving it through versus what the Lord is perceiving it through, it's going to push that I'll do it tomorrow factor. And tomorrow will become the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, the day after that. Eventually, there will be no more tomorrows to say that you will do it for. But it has to get to a point when you're telling yourself, I will do it tomorrow. It is the biggest lie you will tell yourself. You already are programmed. You have a specific programming in your brain that your brain is relying on, that system very, very strong and hard. So if you do not take the control and you do not disrupt this system that is currently happening, you will not accomplish whatever it is that you want to do tomorrow. It is so important to just do it in the moment, to do it now, put it your best effort towards it, and eventually it will start to become a part of your computer program in your system. And that consistency builds a habit, and a habit is what leads you to that success. You have a goal or something that you want to start, and you keep telling yourself you're going to do it tomorrow. You've tried all the planners, you've tried the meditation, you've tried it all, and you're realizing that you may have just low levels of dopamine and you're looking to spike those levels of dopamine, you have to start finding a way to be able to work towards whatever it is, regardless of it feeling meaningful or not. Because the moment that you put the effort towards it, the moment you will feel that meaningful response towards it, and the dopamine will spike and it will become a literal hamster wheel. Like that is what the feeling you will chase constantly when you're working towards that goal. You'll see progress, and that progress will be everything. In order for you to stop telling yourself you're going to do it tomorrow, you have to look at where you're currently at right now and where you're looking to be. If your behaviors and mentalities and everything do not align with that outcome that you're looking to have, you need to get refocused, disrupt that system in your body. Reprogramming is everything. So many creators nowadays, especially on my For You page, I have been seeing so many people talking about neuroscience and how neuroscience is so tied into spirituality and accomplishing your goals and achieving this dream reality that we're all looking to achieve. It's such a unique way to understanding the self and understanding your behaviors, your thought patterns, your actions, why you respond to things the way that you do, and how you can really get into that rewiring factor. Not everything is going to work the same. Whenever you're thinking of somebody telling you to do a planner or meditation or goal setting, it's often people who already have that drive and that willpower, that identity behind what is going to actually make them work towards that specific goal or outcome or success. It is disrupting that chemical balance in your brain, disrupting that predictability in your brain that is telling you, hey, we can't do this, it's not safe. You have to be like, I know what the truth is out here, and that is not it. We're going to start today. Force yourself to start even when you don't feel ready. You're never going to feel ready, but eventually, again, once it becomes consistent, it becomes a habit. That habitual behavior will then start to feel good and empowering, and it will feel like, okay, I can do this. I have more confidence in this. I can start to flourish and it flows more naturally. I wanted to share with the people who struggle with trying to create these narratives that it has to be perfect, or trying to create these narratives or excuses within the self that have been shaped by our society around us and has become our identity and part of our predictable behavior programming, that we are required to do something before we actually are able to accomplish or start what we need to start. And that is just so far from the truth. You have all of the capabilities and all the willpower and everything with who you already are today, especially because the Lord knows who you are, knows your true identity, and everything that is based upon fear or anxiousness or what our body deems as dangerous is never, ever, ever going to be more powerful than the Lord and what He has for you and the way that He responds to you, and know that He can always, always defeat that. Although our bodies may try to protect us in the best way possible, a lot of the times it is very dangerous to us stepping outside of our comfort zones and outside of our programming that we already currently have. Rewiring is everything. It's the only way that you're going to be able to succeed what you need to succeed. So if you are somebody who constantly says that I'm going to start tomorrow, and you know tomorrow comes and you never start tomorrow, you have to start looking at the person that you currently are right now and the person that you can be, and get to a point where you are like, I am tired, I am so fed up with this, that you will start to work towards that change. Dopamine comes from effort that feels meaningful. So, in order for you to actually spike your levels of dopamine, you have to continue and just start working towards the things that you want to accomplish, whether you feel ready or not. You are safe, you are protected, work towards your goals. I love you, and I will see you in another video. Bye.